I don't think that's the old intro, but we're gonna go with it. I didn't see any pictures. Maybe I'm just very tired, but I do not know what just happened at all. Okay. Anywho, hello guys. Welcome to Demo Divas. We hope that you're enjoying your Sunday evening. Um, it's nice to have a little break from wrestling. We don't have too much to talk about today. But after last week, everything was packed, and unfortunately, I wasn't here. But we'll get into that in a little bit. Kylie, how are you doing? How are you doing this week?
I'm doing good. Like you said, there wasn't a lot of wrestling this week, but you know what? Women's wrestling is always fun to talk about, so here we are.
Yes, yes. Haley, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I'm glad to have all three of us back together again. We really missed you last week, and I'm excited to talk about this week in women's wrestling.
Yes. Well, last week a major event happened in my life, and it was Bianca winning the championship. I
Here I am
also
thinking Jay Shell's about to give us some news. I was like,
I'm
oh,
like,
I
what
love watching
happened, girl? Like, what do we like?
I mean, I also made the decision on where I'm going to college, but I mean, anyhow, that whatever. Who really cares about that? Um, dig my own grave. Okay. But obviously, I had been incredibly personally invested in the Bianca Becky storyline. Had many mental breakdowns over it, many panic attacks leading up to WrestleMania. They had an amazing match, one of the matches of the year. I'm very proud of Bianca, Becky too, of course, but Bianca mainly because Bianca is Bianca. Um, I'm excited to see what she has in store with the championship reign. I hope that it's better than her last one was because it was, one abruptly cut short, and two, it never really got off the ground after the I Quit match stuff with Bailey happened. Um, so and she feuded with Carmella for a while, which I was just like, okay. Um, Anywho, I'm very excited to see what Bianca does. I hope that her eye is okay. Happy birthday, Bianca. I think she's what, 32, 33 today. But we stand her. Sasha, Naomi, the Holy Trinity is fulfilled. That's all I have to say.
that was a good recap of your WrestleMania experience.
Yeah, that's full like WWE WrestleMania. But I watched a lot of other wrestling, which made me want to sleep for 24 hours after watching all of it. But
That's
it was
fair.
fun. I have had many arguments about Mickey James or Sally Catch with people, and
Oh, we got all into that last week too. Yeah.
I can't wait to fight some people.
Okay. Okay.
This is going great so far. I love this.
Oh my
So do we want to keep talking about WWE? Not a whole lot happened this week.
No.
I mean, Lacey Evans is back.
And I do like that they kind of dropped her whole like Southern Belle like thing.
Yeah.
And it feels more real. I mean, I feel like we can obviously connect with wrestlers when parts of their actual story are involved, but also I'm kind of iffy because like, do we want to exploit people, like their trauma and like it's like iffy for me, But I'm excited she's back.
I'm excited she's back too because she of course left to have a baby, but before she did, it really felt like she was improving a lot, and I think people were she was finally starting to click with the audience, and she hadn't prior to that because you remember when she debuted on the main roster and they had her doing that thing where she'd like walk out and just like pose and then walk back.
Yes.
That was so bad, and it really I think hurt her. But if WWE is going to get behind her like they are now, then I'm cool with it. Also, Raquel Gonzalez / Raquel Rodriguez is on the main roster now. I don't know how I feel about that one. I know Jay Shell has opinions.
The women's main roster just feels like the women's roster of Control Your Narrative. And do with that what you will, but pass. I'm bored. I'm tired. Like, Raquel doesn't do anything for me. Lacey doesn't do anything for me. I'm gonna give her a chance with this babyface run, but like the Southern Belle thing and the women's right and calling people nasties just wasn't working for me. I mean, I'm hopeful that like they get portrayed well and get booked well and all of that stuff, like for their sake, but I probably won't really enjoy much of it. I don't like how Raquel wrestles very much. It makes me um kind of cringe. I feel like she should be better than she is. Maybe
Mhm.
that's tough talk from me, but sorry, that's just how I feel. If you look at her friends and who she went to the PC with, Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley, huh? Yeah. Um, I don't know. I this Raquel name change stuff. Why? But
I don't know. I think her. I thought her name was fine. Raquel Rodriguez. I guess it's alliteration and it's marketable. Um, I'm not a big fan of her wrestling style, and I'm scared that Vince McMahon is really going to get behind her because she is classically beautiful and she's fit and she's tall and she's all the things that he said he's looking for. And I'm scared that's going to be at the expense of people who have been on the main roster, kind of waiting, like uh, an Asuka or Bailey when she comes back. Naomi, she's in the tag division right now, but of course,
Xia
she's
Li.
yeah, Xia Li.
where is Xylee?
I don't know. I all
Where's
these people
Aaliyah
just
too?
disappear.
Yeah.
They just disappear. I don't know
Well,
where they go.
I think Shotzi's handling stuff with her dad's passing, but I miss
Well,
Shotzi.
it's that's a different situation. But for a lot
Yeah.
of these people, they just kind of debut and then they disappear. And I don't think that's going to happen with her Raquel because I think WWE is really behind her uh, for all the reasons that I said. But with all the stuff going on with Charlotte Ronda, the fact that they're doing Charlotte Ronda again at WrestleMania Backlash, and it's an I Quit match, I'd be lying if I said I was hopeful for the division. And Bianca's of course a bright spot, but we still have time for that. And I'm not going to curse her, so knock on wood with this one. But Raquel being on the main roster and all these other things that are happening, I'm worried for Bianca, and I'm worried that we're going to get Ronda champion. Not that Charlotte was better, but this whole thing, the WrestleMania match was blah. The build to it sucked. The build after it sucks. Everything they're doing is just not good. And this is not a good spot for Charlotte, and it's not a good spot for Ronda. So I'm really curious. I know Jay Shell probably has some hot takes about Ronda Rousey, but where does Ronda Rousey go from here? If presuming she wins.
I mean,
Jay Shell has a
we
lot of
talked
things.
about this last week, and I said like this is what was going to happen, and now it is. And I just really feel like they didn't want to have both women win the titles at Mania. They wanted to give Bianca her moment, no matter if it was decided that way originally or not. I do think that Ronda will probably win the title. I don't understand why the stipulation is happening now. Like, I feel like this should have been part of their Mania match.
That's fair.
But whatever.
Jisha, what did you think about the Mania match? Because you weren't on our episode last week, and I want to know what you thought.
I kind of liked it. Yeah, I kind of liked it a little bit. I thought it was better than what I was expecting. I think it helped that I set my expectations really, really low, so it kind of rose above my expectations. So that it might not be a general thing. It might just be they did a lot better than I thought they were going to.
The good thing about our show is we all have differing opinions.
Yeah, I also think that Ronda just looked like she was doing more moves than she ever does.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, oh, better showing here. But in general, Ronda pass. No, thank you. I I don't understand the argument that she's a draw or that. Let me save the other take. Um, I don't know necessarily how much I can agree with that. In terms of making her a champion versus having her in a featured role. I feel like you can have Ronda in a featured role and not have her be champion within the company. But I don't think they understand how to book non-championship feuds, so they can't see that working. Like literally, you could do a cross-promotional Becky Ronda non-title match leading up to Mania, and leave your champions alone. I just don't think they understand how to do that, and I think that having Ronda without the title actually might be more of a draw because you can make more interesting matchups for her. Anywho, I think after she wins, she gets Raquel. I think Raquel's not going to win, but I think Raquel's going to look made. Not that Ronda can make somebody, but in the eyes of WWE, she'll be made. You know what I mean? Not
Yeah.
that like the fans are gonna go, oh my god, we love Raquel. No, it's just I feel like she'll be put in like a proving ground situation and will kind of just be forced to rise to the occasion. I feel like the match will be one of my least favorite matches of the whole entire year. But yeah.
Giselle, you know how people, a little bit of a side topic, you know how people make match of the year lists? I need you to make a worst match of the year list. And at the end of the year, I need you to put it on Twitter.
Okay. I'm gonna get canceled. Oh my
That's
god.
okay.
They'll see my best matches of the year list, and then they'll see my worst matches of the year list. It's Edge and AJ Styles at WrestleMania, Edge everywhere, Edge everywhere, Edge everywhere, Edge everywhere. I don't like Edge anymore. I don't know what happened, but I just can't. I can't do him anymore.
Well, before you say something that's going to get you canceled, you were talking a lot about Ronda, and I totally agree with a lot of it. But I think it's really interesting where Charlotte goes. If Charlotte, drops the title at WrestleMania Backlash, which I think she will. I just feel like she's in a rut. And maybe that's just me, but I feel like I'm not enjoying her matches as much as I used to, and I'm not enjoying her as a character as much as I used to. Maybe it's just me, I don't know, but part of me feels like she's just floating in WWE.
That's definitely fair.
I feel like she's always been positioned at the top, since her debut, really. So I just feel like it's like overused at this point. Like people are tired. Like what more can you do? She's how many championships has she won now? I don't even know. 13? It's a lot. Whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel like people are tired. Like what more can you do here?
Yeah. Well, it's like Roman Reigns. They said the same thing about Roman Reigns, and now look where he is. But it's like for Charlotte, I don't see a way out because as a babyface, she's intolerable. I don't like her as a babyface. I like her as a heel, but like I don't know. There's just like no creative energy there, and I think the Ronda feud doesn't help just because I think Ronda is so, as a character, so creatively childish. Like she's just bland.
Yes.
I have an idea about a way out for Charlotte.
Okay.
You take her off TV for a bit, but when she comes back, you give people the Sasha match. You do the Charlotte Sasha match, and that one proves Charlotte can still go in the ring, and it'll probably be one of the best matches she's had in recent memory. And people will go, "Oh my god, okay, maybe she's not that bad anymore." And then two, the time away will make people like her more. I personally like Charlotte as a person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I think I'm so invested in wanting to see her succeed and like, being a fan, I guess, of Charlotte. And she's about to get married. She's about to take some time off in the summer anyway. So I think that'll work to her benefit. But from here, I really think you just have to step the Sasha match. I would try to say do it at SummerSlam. I don't know when her wedding is, but like I would aim for SummerSlam time to do it. I just hope that they keep her away from Money in the Bank because I feel like they would give her the Money in the Bank briefcase just because it's Charlotte and it's comfortable.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I think that the actual next match for Sasha is Naomi, but we'll get there. But I would have rather it be Charlotte.
I definitely agree. I think Charlotte needs to be wrestling people like Sasha because I think Sasha is the best, women's wrestler in WWE. Yeah. I am really excited for Sasha Naomi, just because I like seeing Naomi in that spot. I like her working with people like Sasha. I don't like when she's kind of down at the bottom. Not that she's not great there, but you know what I mean. Charlotte, I feel like, I don't know. I don't think WWE wants her off TV. I think
they definitely don't.
I think she still does good ratings and does good merch sales, and they're going to milk it for all it's worth. But it's like so creatively bankrupt. And doing Charlotte Ronda again is just, Ronda should have won at WrestleMania. Like, I don't need it again. And that's what scares me, that we're going to get into this space with Ronda again, where it's like, she's always at the top and she's always fighting the same people. And it's just over and over and over again. And it's like when Ronda left the first time, we had this sort of creative spark where we got, the Bianca, the first initial Bianca run, and Rhea Ripley. And that's because there was no one.
Even Shayna during that time too, but that did not end well. But Shayna was a result of that.
Well, I definitely agree. And I think Shayna deserves better. Justice for Shayna. But I'm scared we're going to get back in that place with WWE where it's like they just have these few stars that people like, and so they're in everything. And that's what worries me about Bianca. And I know it hurts Jay Shell to hear it, but I don't know how behind WWE is with her, or how much they're just giving the fans what they want for a little bit, because we've seen this before, and Jay Shell knows more than anyone that this is like, look at Kofi Kingston, look at Bobby Lashley. It's like it's a pattern, and I'm just worried about it.
I mean,
Especially
fucking Big E, for Christ's sakes.
Big E. I'm so sad about Big E. I miss him already, but all the best for Big E.
Yes, he stand. Haley, what do you think about the Sasha Charlotte potential match, or where Charlotte's stuck right now?
I agree. I do think that she's in a creative rut, and I feel like Charlotte Ronda is already overdone for me. Like it doesn't do anything for me really. Just because I feel like Ronda, when she came back, like it's just been so dry. Like she really needs help creatively. I don't know what that would look like for her, but she needs a mouthpiece or something.
Yeah.
Paul
Heyman offered that.
Yeah.
He said that
I would be down with that. I don't know how they would with Roman, but whatever. But yeah, I'd be down for the Sasha Charlotte match. I agree. I think that's the next like viable position.
Yeah. And I definitely think for Ronda, I think a heel turn is needed. I don't think people buy her as a babyface. I don't think they like her as a babyface. And that's where Paul Heyman could come in. Because this is going to upset people. But I definitely think Roman Reigns is Hollywood bound within the next 3 years. I think he's on his way out of WWE. I think he's done everything he can do. And I think he has a Hollywood look and a vibe about him. And the Rock connection is definitely something people in Hollywood enjoy. So that frees up Paul Heyman. And you can put him with the heel Ronda. And, heels, you can beat them. You can have good baby faces and you can beat heels and they don't lose a whole lot. So I think that's definitely the best spot for Ronda. Like Jay Shaw was talking about, she doesn't need to be in the title picture all the time, but she can still be featured. Maybe that's how they do it. They have her as a heel with the Paul Heyman, and we go from there.
Imagine Heyman and, like, Becky, like, in, like, scrapping back and forth. Would love that.
I would. Becky's another one who needs something.
Mm-hmm.
People do like her as her, this character she is now. It's not for me. I miss the Becky back in the day when people were like, she's the next Stone Cold. She's so cool. I miss that Becky.
Mm-hmm.
I have a hot take.
Uh-oh.
I never really liked Becky. I still don't really like her. I don't think she's really for me.
Did you like her when she was steampunk Becky? Like before?
You haven't liked her at all?
Did you like her when she was the Irish dancer?
She just said she never liked her at all.
I'm trying to find something.
Honestly, I think she's okay. Now, I feel like she's more equivalent. Prior to probably this run for me, I would have said she was levels below the other horsewomen.
I definitely think she's not. I think she's like the worst in the ring of the horsewomen. Not that she's bad in the ring, but like ranking them, I think she's the worst. Yeah. I think her Stone Cold Becky run was really good. I really liked it, and maybe that's because a lot of that happened in Florida, and I was there, so it was like I got to see Charlotte return, and then I got to see them do all the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just liked her. I'm sorry, Jay Shaw.
Oh no, I know I'm on an island with that. I don't really care. Becky works for a lot of people.
When
being honest, I always connect with the BIPOC wrestlers, so that might just be a reason why.
That's fair. That's representation, and that's your opinion.
Yeah,
and you're allowed to have it. But we're totally going off track here. But when the Stone Cold Becky stuff was happening, what were you doing? Like what were you watching? Like, what did you like instead?
I always would just watch, even if I really didn't like stuff. I am a big believer in just persevere through it and you'll be fine. Because a lot of the reason I actually watch wrestling isn't before wasn't really because I enjoyed wrestling too much. It was more so because I wanted to analyze the wrestling. I don't know. It was like an activity for my brain. I mean, obviously the wrestling's cool and stuff, but like analyzing the storylines and being able to use my brain like a nerd makes me feel a lot better. So that's probably why I was watching it.
Honestly, that's fair. I'll admit, sometimes I don't like the stuff in the ring, but I love the stories, and
Yeah.
I love all that kind of stuff too. Is there anything else happening in WWE? I haven't been watching, so I just kind of
Well,
I don't.
Liv and Sasha had a pretty good match. Rhea Ripley's about to join Edge.
Oh yeah, I saw that on
Yeah,
Fightful Select. Shout
yeah,
out to Sean Rossap.
yeah. They start to tease it because Rhea kind of walked out on Liv on Monday, after they lost their number one contenders match against Sasha and Naomi, and then Liv, yeah, caught up with Rhea, and there was the purple background or like the purplish blue background, that Edge had or whatever behind her, and after that, like she said that they have a match for next week, but Liv just beat Sasha and Rhea wasn't there, so
That's really interesting. I like factions that have men and women because
I did too.
I just think it's more realistic.
Yeah.
And I just really like that vibe. And I think she definitely gives off an Edge vibe. Not like this Edge, but like back in the day Edge.
The good Edge.
The good Edge. I definitely think she fits in there. That's really interesting. I think it's good for her.
Yeah.
I think she earns a lot from that.
Yeah,
She's friends
and
with Priest too.
like they were Liv and Rhea were a team that I said like I think that they're better off as individuals. Like I didn't connect really with them as a tag team.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Rhea is, destined for, singles runs and titles. So I'm excited to see this. Something new for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad she's recovering from the Charlotte feud.
Oh,
everything comes back to
the
Charlotte.
many burials.
Oh yeah. I think that she's Bianca's SummerSlam match, to be honest. I really hope she is, and I hope that this is them preparing for it, because you have to have one of them heel, and it got to be Rhea now. So, has Rhea been heel on the main roster? I feel like she has, but I can't remember it.
I feel like they tried to force her as a heel and the build to her first match with Charlotte.
Yep.
I think that's the closest she's gotten, and I don't, because I think the fans don't want it. But I think now, if she's with Edge.
Dylan just sent me a message that said, "How did the Kids' Choice Awards get Jack Harlow?"
Love the Kids' Choice Awards. Just shout out Nickelodeon.
Sasha better win.
Yeah.
Sasha and Xavier Woods are up for awards.
Shout out Xavier Woods, love that man.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. But if that's it for WWE, I want to talk about Julia Hart.
Oh.
Okay.
So listen.
That scoff was hilarious.
I'm so confused about this Julia Hart thing, and I was no one knows what I'm talking about. So maybe my girls know. So she's in this thing with Malachi Black. She gets spit in the eye, and she has an eye patch. Everyone else recovers from this stuff so fast.
Thank you.
And she hasn't for whatever reason, and you can see like there's black under her eye, so she's just like dying, I guess. And it's like
the corruption.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like they tease. She's like emo. Like she's like sitting on the stairs all sad all the time and like not clapping and not being a cheerleader. And now she has this match with Shida and she's like back to normal, except she has like a couple heel moments, but she's like a cheerleader again. And she still has the eye patch and she's like not recovered, but there's like no Malachi Black tees anywhere. What are they doing with Julia Hart?
I don't even think they know at this point. Like even up until like a couple weeks ago, I felt like maybe I knew what direction they were going to go. I have no idea. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, the time for her to join the House of Black would have been when they were, feuding with the Varsity Blondes. And it didn't happen. So is it like long game? Like everyone Malachi Black feuds with, he's going to like turn someone close to them and then it's just going to blow up one day?
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like they pulled the trigger because Brody came in and then like that whole situation happened and then they just had like Julia there And I just feel like it's been too long. I don't know. I'm just kind of over it. I just want them to do something with her.
Honestly, the Owen Hart tournament's going well, but this match was weird to me, and I think it's because of Julia Hart. You can't have her on TV with an eye patch and do nothing with it. Is she dying?
Like, is the corruption, like, what is happening here? Like,
is her brain rotting? Like, I honestly don't know.
Is she turning to goo? Like, what is going on?
The thing with Julia for me is I don't like. Actually, I kind of like it because I think it's scathing. If you look at the transformation and the story that they've been telling with Julia, I'm gonna just try to describe it. It's unclear. It's taking a long time, and it seems like there's no natural progression for how this will end, right? I think that is very equivalent to how the women's division is booked. If you compare that to any of the stories that they've done with Malachi Black and the House of Black and the men's roster, the stories are normally clear that he got to an eye and now he's healed and now he wants to fight Malachi, right? And Malachi cheated to win. Boom. They always kind of clean it up and make sure that it's done at least in like maybe a 5-ish week time, if that.
Mm-hmm.
And Julia's had this for a while. And obviously, you know it's going to end with a match. And you can't really do that with Julia unless you do the Varsity Blondes again, because you waited so long now. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I feel like it's very representative of the women's division now.
I wonder, and maybe this is me thinking too much into it, but I wonder if there's like there's different, mists. Like when he spits, it has like a different.
Oh my god.
Well, like how is everyone healing from it and she's not? Is she just like depressed? Like it's all fake? She's just different. so sad that he spit in her eye that she's just like wearing an eye patch because she's sad.
She's built different.
I just need something, and we didn't get it really in the Sheeta match. I mean, she did some heel stuff, and Griff Garrison was like, "What the hell are you doing?"
And she
but
came
like,
out.
but like, this is a good story, and the longer it goes on, the worse the story gets. Like now, she just looks like an idiot.
She
like, why can't you go to the doctor?
From her eye, like the Malachi Black eye stuff, she has it growing, but like, it's not large enough to see on the screen. And they wait so long to put Julia back on TV that it's like, how are you doing the story if you're not going to put her on TV consistently? She doesn't even get vignettes most weeks.
Yeah, and they did that whole thing whenever it was where she was sitting on the stairs all emo. Like, they could have done something there because the crowd was staring at her on the stairs all emo. Like yeah, and everyone was kind of waiting for it, to be honest. And I'm like, and I also feel like Sheeta is kind of stuck. Like, ever since she came back from Japan, like, they're doing Serena Deeb again, which I guess they're going to meet in the tournament at some point. Honestly, they're really dropping the ball with Sheeta. Like, ever since, Britt Baker, Sheeta's just kind of been there.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It was a good match, Julia and Sheeta, but they're both just kind of directionless in this division. And I guess that's like the story of the whole division. Everyone's just kind of directionless. Unless you're Thunder Rosa, and then you're in a bad feud.
I mean, Jade Cargill is directionful, but also directionless because who is she going to lose to? You should have that planned out by now.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's going to be Chris Statlander.
Really?
Yeah, I think they're going to do it at Double or Nothing.
You think it's that soon?
That Jade loses?
I think she gets to 50. Or she loses on her 50th.
All the way to 50? Oh, well, I feel like then you have to do Serena Deeb because of the whole Sheeta 50 wins club thing. Like, I feel like you corner yourself there. Well, I mean, they could because, Nyla Rose is also in the 50 win club and she's never been part of the Sheeta Deeb disaster. So
they're about to go on their 5th match.
Honestly, I loved it at first, and now I'm like, we get it. It's good. We get it. They're talented. We get it.
Do we really need like a best of 7? Like,
if they had advertised it as a best of 7, like, cool. I'm into that. Like, we could have tiebreakers. I'm cool with that. But it's like, it's not. And now it's just annoying. And especially because we have this major tournament going on. And now you could use the tournament to build other stories.
Are you guys excited for Tony and Hayter?
Yes.
Yes.
Is that even a question?
I mean, it wasn't a question, but it was a segue.
I think they're both so talented, and I think Tony Khan really likes Toni Storm. And
I hope he does.
I don't know if she's gonna win the whole thing.
She's gonna get more though.
Oh, definitely. I think she's definitely in the finals.
Yeah.
Are the finals? The finals are happening at Double or Nothing, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we got so long to deal with this tournament.
I'm a little scared.
When do we talk about the other part of the tournament too? Because I want to.
The floor is yours.
Yeah.
I'm very upset. Tony Khan, you have made a big mistake. Apparently, you did not hear the chance that Willow was getting. You should have told the referee, call an audible. Willow's winning. But no, Red Velvet won, and I guess she's turning heel because you got to replace Layla in the Chris feud. But like, why? They're friends, so why would you do that? But Willow should have won.
I definitely agree. I think Willow's made for TV. I think there's few wrestlers that like are made for TV. I think Bianca Belair is one, and I think Willow is one. And she should have won that. Like, give her. Why wasn't she signed right away? Like, I was waiting for the graphic. Like, why do you not sign someone?
They probably wanted to get her first win, but then like you can just do that now. Like, why don't you just put her on TV and make her look like a big deal? And why isn't Marina Shafir on TV either?
She had that one thing
video package,
but she's not having a match.
I know. She's coming soon. Whatever.
I think they don't want her to be wrestling when she's supposed to be wrestling Jade. I think they want that to be like really big. Like, they don't want to overexpose her.
I feel like some people probably don't even watch how she wrestles. Like, they probably don't even. They just think, oh, Marina Shafir, who is this?
Yeah.
She's the problem. That's what she is. And that's it.
She's wrestled a little bit on Dark, so I think a lot of people have seen that. But I do agree. I think she needs more like video packages, like the big ones. You know,
Did you see how short the Rampage one was?
Yeah, it was just her being like, Jade Cargill, like, solve me
this problem.
Like
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I think they'll have a good match because I think Jade, Athena.
We need her.
We do. I don't know why I'm assuming if she's coming to AW, she'll be in the Owen. I don't know where else you would put her unless you put her against Jade. But then you have to, like, she's gonna be the 31st opponent. Like 30 was the opportunity for that. I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's like, Fightful Select, like, Tony Khan's not in a rush to sign Athena. Why? Why wouldn't you be in a rush? Like, the moment her non-compete ended is like midnight, I'm calling her. I'm waking her up in her bed.
You know why.
I'm offering her anything she wants.
You know why.
I think there's multiple reasons why, but I think I know where you're going.
I made a flower.
Oh, it's very pretty.
Love it.
Oh, but back to Red Velvet. I just wanted to say, I thought it was really weird that that the crowd booed her from the get-go. And, Willow's really over. And I think Tony Khan didn't realize how over she was.
Yeah.
But the crowd
that's like her college town. Like, she went to Northeastern. And she wrestles for Beyond, obviously. And that's exactly in that area. So that's why she was super over in that town.
Yeah, and I think maybe Tony Khan didn't realize how over she would be. But Red Velvet getting booed, that sucked. And to me, that's not like a heel turn. To me, that's like people are annoyed with her. And that was a lot of the reaction on Twitter was people like mad at Red Velvet because, Tony Khan didn't book Willow to win. And that puts her in a bad situation.
Yeah.
And the Chris Statlander thing is so overdone. And I'm so done with that too.
I want to see the new Chris Stat. I want to see if she wrestles differently or if they're going to do anything different with her. Like, actually.
If she's not going to do something, I don't want her to wrestle Red Velvet, but like Mercedes Martinez, she's going to wrestle Deonna Purrazzo in ROH. And then once she's done with that, she's presumably going to beat Deonna. She could come wrestle Chris Statlander. You could put that on Dynamite and it'd be great.
She would have to lose to Mercedes, though. Would you do that?
No, I would have Chris Statlander beat Mercedes.
Really? I think Willow needs that title next.
Yeah, I want Willow in AEW, like full time. Like I don't want her to be bouncing back and forth because I feel like we'll see her less in AEW.
That's fair. I want her in my dream, like she's the face of the ROH women's division. Like, you know how Sasha's the face of WWE and like Mandy, I guess, is the face of NXT. I think you do that with Willow. Ring of Honor.
Yeah, I think you definitely could. I don't know if Tony Khan's gonna sign people to be the ROH roster or if he's just gonna sign people to AEW and cycle them in and out.
Yeah.
Like I don't really know, but either way, as long as he signs Willow and I get to see her more on TV, I'm here for it. Because it's like, it's a shame that someone so talented with so much like star potential, I have to like go out of my way to see her.
Yeah.
Like I have to see her on like IWTV and like I have to see her on these indie shows. So I would just love for her to be everywhere. Like merch. I want her on like AEW promo.
She was getting on the AEW tour bus when I saw the whole bus, which was full of the signed talent. I saw Jade and Ricky and I almost cried. It was great. But yeah, she was right behind them. So who knows?
Fingers crossed for Willow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at her.
Fingers crossed for Red Velvet, honestly.
Oh God, Velvet's always had it rough though. I feel
she's
like
always in a bad spot.
Yeah, I feel like they always put too much pressure on her.
Like she had the Jade Shaquille O'Neal thing, and she had to sub in for Brandy, and like that was a big deal. Was subbing in for Brandy on that, and she killed it. Her and Jade carried that entire match because Shaquille O'Neal can't wrestle. And then she had that Britt feud where she like was kind of a heel.
She had to because she was in Britsburg.
Yeah, and it's just
Britt's coming back. We should talk about that.
Oh yeah, Britt. She said she wasn't going to come back until they're in Pittsburgh. And it's like clock's ticking. Like we're almost there.
I don't know what they have for her. It has to be Hayter.
Yeah.
You can't do Hayter and Storm at the same time. So that makes me think Hayter's losing early. So they got to run Toni Storm early.
Well, it's like they really put themselves in a bad corner here because let's say Toni Storm, Jamie Hayter. If Jamie Hayter loses to Toni Storm, which she probably will because Toni Storm is the bigger star, at least in AEW's eyes. It's like then Hayter has to go into this feud with Britt Baker, a former champion, off a loss.
And she's going to lose that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like they really put her in a bad spot here. And it's like I was saying this on the Code of Honor podcast. I think Jamie Hayter should have been put in ROH with Mercedes Martinez, and they could have had a little feud there. And then Jamie Hayter can win the title and then go into the Britt feud with the title. And I think that makes her look a lot stronger. But now she's just like a henchman who's just like a disgruntled employee.
Yeah.
So it's the whole division is such a mess. And they had this great story with Mercedes and Britt and Jamie and like that whole squad. And it's just kind of like evaporated. Like there's no bones to it anymore.
I think they have an issue with booking Hayter in general. I feel like she's always like, obviously she was a henchman until she took the losses for Britt and stuff, which was a problem for me to begin with because I feel like she was so much better than Britt in the ring that like, why are you having somebody that good take the losses? But even moving on from that, there's really been no major feuds that she's won. She's had no feuds that like were her own. The first one she's having is Toni Storm, and she's gonna lose that one. And then she's gonna have Britt, and she's gonna lose that one. So what do you do after that?
I don't know, and I think
she needs Anna Jay or somebody like that, or a Ty Conti, like somebody who's on like a platform. Not no Sammy, but like Ty Conti to beat them.
Speaking of Ty Conti, did you guys watch Rampage?
Yes.
That segment was a disaster. Oh yeah. That segment was a disaster, and poor Ty Conti, who was this fiery babyface who you could really buy into, is now in this like sex pest angle where it's like who's more sexist, Sammy Guevara or Dan Lambert. And
I feel like putting real wrestling relationships on TV like this is what happens. Like, we don't need it. There was no need.
I think
It works
it's a
if they're
heel.
heels.
Yes,
Yeah.
if they were heels, it would work, but they're not. So stop.
They have to be now. Like, they got booed so hard, and like when they put the segment on TV, they like tried to cut around the boos and like cover them up, but it's like they were clearly getting booed. And Dan Lambert was getting cheered, and he like admitted he was a sexist.
Yeah.
He was like, "Well, maybe I am," and people were like, "Yeah." So like,
And they're telling people to be mad, but the people who aren't mad are just annoyed. It's not even being mad. It's just like, you're an annoying couple. You know that couple in middle school or high school that's always having like fucking PDA?
Mhm.
Like
they're like making out in the hallway and like blocking the whole hallway. That's Sammy and Ty. That's them. And you know, I was
cringe.
fully.
It's like a first relationship vibes. It's cringe.
And it's like, I was fully on board. I was one of the people from the get-go who was like, leave them alone.
Yeah.
Like, it's none of your business. But now they're like, oh, well, if you're not going to leave us alone, we're going to make it your business. And I was like, they already thought it was their business the way it was before.
Yeah.
And now you're just making it all of our business. And I don't want it to be my business, but now it's my business. And now I know that you did all these things with the TNT belt.
And we didn't need to see it. Like,
I didn't need to see it.
Sorry.
And I know like all these intimate details about your love life. And now I have, you know, all ego Ethan Page basically calling Ty Conti a whore on TV, saying he doesn't want his daughter to be like her. And I'm like, so many people I love are in this feud: Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page, Ty Conti, not Sammy Guevara. But those
never
three,
loved Sammy.
Sammy as a babyface is the worst. He's the weakest pillar.
Thank you for covering up the thing I just said. Did you hear what I said?
No.
Okay, good. I'll say it in the chat then.
Oh, okay. Sammy's the worst pillar. I think he's getting surpassed by like the second. I think he's getting surpassed by the second generation of pillars, like the Dante Martins and the Hooks and the Lee Moriartys and
Yuta is levels above him right now.
Yes.
Yeah, Wheeler Yuta just went. Wheeler Yuta even jumped over Jungle Boy, I would say. I don't think
You
he's
know what?
on
At this
Darby's
point,
level.
as he should.
Yeah, I don't think he's on Darby's level or MJF's level yet. But
I think he's close to Darby, though. I think he's catching up a lot faster than I would have expected.
Oh, 100%. People are so on board, and that match really made him, and I think Jon Moxley really made him. Mm-hmm. But, you know, circling back to Sammy.
Fingers crossed. Sorry, one thing. Fingers crossed that they do this with Garcia and Moriarty, too, because they mentioned them before. So I feel like just, like, you know, speed it up and let me be happy and let me just see Lee Moriarty in a prominent position, because out of all of the killers or the 4 killers or whatever, Moriarty has received the least opportunities. And you know, chop, he's my favorite. Let's go.
Yeah, I think they're also probably going to do something with Lee Moriarty and Samoa Joe along the line, maybe in Ring of Honor. But circling back to Sammy, it's like he gets in all these bad stories. And it's like he's not believable. Like, he's so phony. And it's Ty Conti is now in it with him. Mm-hmm. And she's like phony and like annoying. And I don't believe her when she says anything. It's like you had this awesome match, this street fight with Anna Jay and the Bunny and Penelope Ford. And now it's like, where are all those girls? Where are they? They're not doing anything. The Bunny Bunny, you know, they gave her Toni Storm, which was a big honor. Toni Storm's first match. But it's like, well, what are we doing with this entire division?
I agree.
Haley, how are you feeling about this whole Owen situation, how the tournament's shaping up already?
I mean, originally I was very excited, and I guess it's still like early days, you know.
Yeah.
Like, we can't really like judge too much, but
yeah,
with the state of it right now, I don't know. I just want more for all of them. I really do.
Yeah.
And I wish Willow would have won. Like, that really bummed me out.
Yeah, and it's like, well, we're still in qualifying matches, so I don't want to pass judgment too soon because the tournament hasn't like really started yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like we're not getting anything new out of it, really, except for Toni Storm. And so it's like we have all these stories that are just kind of simmering in the women's division, and nothing's happening. And it's like, the Owen, like, this would have been the place to do it. And it just feels like it's like a side thought to the Blackpool Combat Club, which is great. Or it's a side thought to, the, horrible Jurassic Express title run.
They're losing those titles this week, right?
They have to. It's been so bad.
Okay.
So bad.
Luchasaurus.
Like you're champions and you're like not the hottest tag team in the division, and every other tag champ has been the hottest tag team in the division. It's like Jurassic Express is just kind of there, and they like the Young Bucks and FTR are killing it. Red Dragon's killing it.
I don't want to say this. I'm gonna say this, even though I love the Young Bucks. I feel like ever since they lost the titles, like everything since has been so mediocre because they're just not like putting any of these teams on TV.
Yeah. Well, I think for the Young Bucks, they're definitely like stalling for Kenny Omega to come back.
Yeah, it's dragging way too much.
Yeah. I think Hangman Page is in his groove. I think Red Dragon and Adam Cole are in their groove. But I don't know. It's just like Jurassic Express. And I know this is a women's wrestling show, but
I was just thinking the same thing.
Jurassic Express has just been boring, and it's like that's women's division booking in the tag division. Jurassic Express champions who are just like side pieces. Do better.
I just don't understand what this ROH women's division is going to look like. I'm kind of worried. I'm kind of scared, but I'm just going to stay positive. Did you guys... I heard that Penelope Ford was like hinting at wanting to go to WWE. Did you hear that?
I didn't see that.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, somebody said to me in like the chat of one of my other shows. I'm going to look for it. Come on.
Okay, well, while you look for that, I'll talk about ROH for a second. So ROH has TV tapings next weekend. And
really?
Yeah, we know nothing about a roster, or no one signed except for Samoa Joe, who, he's all elite, which tells me that anyone who's all elite is going to be in Ring of Honor, and no one is actually going to be signed to Ring of Honor, exclusively, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. And I just don't think that Tony Khan has enough women to work Ring of Honor and AEW shows. So it's like, you take this division that's already like, it's like this big, and then you're going to stretch it thin. And it's like, with the Owen tournament happening, when you need like all hands on deck because your division is so small, it's like, and then you won't sign Athena.
Exactly.
Like, it's all hands on deck. And, you have like Britt Baker has been gone, and Penelope Ford, Jay Shell's looking for her. She's not here. Yeah. And, all these people aren't doing anything. And it's like, and then you have Julia Hart who's stuck with an eye patch.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. It's like, where's Riho? Where's Diamante? Why is she still on Dark? Kiera Hogan, why is she on Dark?
AQA, like where are these women?
I don't know. It's not even like that they're not just they're just not having matches. It's like they're not even on TV. Like for these Owen qualifying matches, we should get, video packages, and we should get, all this sort of stuff. Or like even just for people who qualify, then they should get a video package that analyzes them. Like, you remember when Taz used to do the Technique by Taz thing?
Mm-hmm.
Like, get Taz to sit down and be like, here's Tony Storm. Here's like all the things Tony Storm is good at. And then here's Jamie Hayter. Here's all the things Jamie Hayter is good at. Like, why can't we get that?
I can't find it. It looks like it was deleted. Yeah.
Oh, well, Penelope Ford would fit in WWE, I think.
I think she'd be better there.
Yeah, I think Kip Sabian would too.
Oh, that'd be great if they brought them on as a team, like as a pairing. That's perfect for NXT 2.0. That's like,
yeah, it is. Yeah, that's my thought process too.
Yeah, interesting. Who would she feud with? Mandy Rose.
Yeah,
that sounds like somebody's wet dream. Penelope Ford doing the splits and Mandy Rose posing. That.
I think Penelope Ford is more talented than Mandy Rose in a lot of ways, though.
Oh, duh. I think Mandy Rose is one of the least talented wrestlers I've ever seen in my whole entire life.
You can't say that.
Why?
I mean, she just
Someone's gonna be mad. The comments are gonna be like, Jay Shell does not know what she's talking about. She's so bad.
Do you disagree with me, Kylie?
No, I don't disagree.
Okay.
So-
Haley, do you disagree with me?
No.
Exactly. So nobody can get mad.
I mean, yeah.
Mandy Rose, when she was on the main roster, I was okay with her. Like, especially when she was with Sonya Deville.
I just cannot buy that Mandy Rose is like NXT champion. Like, who were the former NXT women's champions? Io Shirai, Sasha Banks, Charlotte, Paige, like
Asuka.
Asuka, Rhea Ripley, like these incredibly talented workers who were like pioneers of women's wrestling and women's evolution. And then there's Mandy Rose and Raquel Rodriguez Gonzalez.
Well, it's because Raquel gets kind of a pass because she was in that transition time between like NXT 1 and NXT 2. But it's like NXT 2 is like, I can't watch it anymore. And I got a lot of hate for saying this on Twitter, but I'm going to say it again. Like, it is so boring. Like I'd rather do anything else.
Sorry.
I don't like the fact that they made Lash Legend a heel in a feud about features of Black women and Black culture. And Nikita's the face. No thanks.
It's very what's the word I'm looking for? Like 2008, like teen Nick.
Yeah, like Degrassi, like
Degrassi, or like Degrassi at best,
the next generation,
worst,
like the second coming.
Alexa Bliss just got married.
Oh, congratulations, girl! But like, it's Degrassi at best, but like at worst, it's like iCarly. Oh, I love
not iCarly. Do not.
Or Victorious. Victorious.
Oh my God, she looks so pretty.
Oh,
gorgeous. Love the dress.
I hope WWE does something with her.
Yes.
I get that she like was, the Bray Wyatt thing kind of sucked, but like, come on, guys, get your act together. And I saw some people comparing Julia Hart, the cheerleader turned dark girl, to Alexa Bliss, cheerleader turned dark girl. But like, they're not comparable, and it's like,
no. But I also think that like it's like towing the line a bit. Like I could see what people are saying.
I can definitely see it, but I think Alexa Bliss, between cheerleader and dark girl, definitely had a gradual sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like transition, is what I'm saying. So anyone have any closing thoughts? Not about Mandy Rose.
Mandy Rose sucks. Sammy sucks.
J-Shaw, what are you going to do when Mandy's on the main roster and she's feuding with Bianca?
That's not going to happen.
Don't even put that out there.
Exactly. Don't manifest. I'm not manifesting that energy. You know what I'm manifesting for all of the Charlotte haters out there? A Sasha Banks feud. I'm manifesting a Sasha Banks feud to prove everybody wrong. I'm only going to manifest positive things that I want this year.
Period.
Okay, well then I'm manifesting Julia Hart in the House of Black, destroying everyone and meeting Toni Storm in the finals of the Owen.
Haley, what are you manifesting?
Let's see. I'm going to manifest Ronda Rousey getting a mouthpiece, and
there we go.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We need Paul Heyman, please.
That's a good one. Why are we so smart, guys?
I don't know.
So smart. should we wrap this up before this completely falls apart?
Oh yeah,
it already has. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna forget in the morning when I start to promote the show that like I gave an extremely hot take about Mandy Rose and Edge in one episode.
You know what?
The Edge one is going to get some people on you.
But, like, we're the J-Shell defenders. We got you.
Hold on.
Okay. J-Shell, you want to do your plugs before you do something even worse?
J-Shell Nicole on Twitter. That's it.
Haley, do you want to do your plugs? Oh, I'm next? Oh, well, you can follow me on Twitter at Fuller_Kylie. I have everything I'm doing you'll find on Twitter.
Yeah, that's why I just give my Twitter now.
Yeah, Demo Divas, Fightful Overbooked 5 on Sunday. Code of Honor podcast, Body Slam YouTube, 3 on Monday. Anything else I'm doing? If I do anything
great
different
stuff over there.
Code of Honor podcast, it's a good time. We did the Supercard post show, and then we just filmed the episode before this. We talked a lot about Willow. So you want my hot takes about Willow? Follow me on Twitter. Go watch Code of Honor podcast.
And you can follow me on Twitter there to find out everything I'm doing too.
Yep.
That's all.
Thank you guys for watching. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next week to talk about I don't know what because no matches have really been announced, but we'll see. Bye guys. Have a good weekend.